Unfortunately, the financial markets are in a free fall this morning.
Womp womp.
Yeah, really. After you know who declared a trade war on countries around the world. Now, some Republicans are warning this might not end well. But he insists that it's the beginning of a new age of prosperity. Take a look.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. More production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America.
In the long run, we're all dead. Short run matters too. Nobody knows what the impact of these tariffs is going to be on the economy.
Anyone who says there may be a little bit of pain before we get things right need to talk about farmers who are one crop away from bankruptcy.
The consumer wins when the price is the lowest price. Tariffs raise prices, and they're a bad idea for the economy.
Yeah.
Those are Republicans.
Yeah. It is a bad idea. I'm sorry. And again, if things were done in such a way where you could follow the logic, I would be all for it and say, oh, I really don't like this or I like that. But I don't know what he's doing. I don't like what he's doing because it affects if you are importing or you're exporting.
Yeah.
So if you make Prosecco, not the greatest thing. You don't want to hear about tariffs. You don't want to hear about it.
And every
the
buyer,
thing about
too.
him is that's fascinating about this guy is that every Nobel Prize winners in economy are saying this is a bad idea. He knows nothing about the economy. He knows nothing about history because they tried this in 1930, and it made the Depression, the Great Depression, worse than ever. So he just decides, as a narcissistic disorder would, I know better than anybody. Forget about the economists who know better. Forget about people who know history. I alone can fix it. That's what he said one time.
And he also talks about reciprocal taxes, and I just ask, when you talk about how he's doing it, there are these herd and McDonald Islands that are in the Antarctic that are inhabited by penguins and seals.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what
There goes
they did
the penguin
to us.
vote.
Yes. I was like, come the midterms, I think these guys are going to be a little pissed off. But there are tariffs. I think the one reassuring thing was we haven't seen many Republicans break with Trump. And to see Senator Rand Paul actually push back, knowing that that resolution probably, it won't go through because the House won't take it up. He still went on the record breaking with Trump, and we haven't seen that from him. So in some ways, the cracks.
From hardly anybody,
Yeah,
but it's nice to start seeing it now.
We're seeing it now because, as Joy just pointed out, during the Great Recession, there was an act called the Great Depression. There was an act that was called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, and it really almost destroyed this country. Actually, we have a clip from Ferris Bueller that maybe people can take a look at.
Now you're talking, Sonny.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the the Great Depression, passed the a tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised or lowered, raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
So thank you, Ferris Bueller. So either Trump hasn't seen, Ferris Bueller to understand that past will become prologue. And really, in real terms, this could affect every single household in the United States by $5,200. That is devastating. They used to project it at $1,600. Now they're projecting it at $1,500 because he's hitting every country with a 10% tariff, every country across the board.
What is his game? What is he doing?
So the honest thing is Donald Trump is not pulling from Tea Party era logic or politics. Think back to the 1990s Pat Buchanan, who basically believed that we could have all American jobs here, produce all our goods here. We didn't need international partners. We didn't need globalization. Well, that was wrong then. It's 30 plus years later, and it's even more wrong now. We are so interconnected as a world. We rely so much on goods and services from abroad. abroad, but we also make money by sending our things abroad. And I used the stat the other day, but 69% of Americans believe this is going to cost them more, according to Fox News. Every economist virtually does. And what I keep thinking about is, on the campaign trail, I brought this up occasionally, but I think if Democrats hit harder on, you're not getting the first-term Trump economy. He's telling you he's going to do something very different. He's going to put across-the-board tariffs in place that are going to cost you money. They could cost you your livelihood. I wonder if that would have broken through.
No, nothing would have broken. We said all of this.
That's what I wonder.
We said all of it.
But again, this also, it's important to know, like, as we're seeing the markets tank, this is not just a wealthy person's problem who's got a lot invested in the stock market. 61% of Americans are invested. If you're on a fixed income, if you have a pension, government or state, Social Security is tied
People
to.
that are living check to check that can't afford this increase
But
in
also
price.
just the day-to-day price of goods are going to go up.
This business about the Republicans now stepping up, a few of them. This is a guy, Trump, who bankrupted a casino.
2 casinos.
Okay, his university went belly up.
Trump University.
Everything he touches dies, and they didn't say anything then, and now it's all coming on them. And I'm sorry, I don't have that much sympathy for these Republicans in Congress who did nothing.
No, but I hope they continue to stand up.
I want to give credit to Mike Pence, who in the first term often talked him out of these sweeping tariffs and said, do more narrow ones. You can do ones as leverage, but do not do them across the board. He's been writing op-eds. He's been on TV talking about how this is going to hurt American consumers. Mike Pence, but I hope more will join him.
Oh, Mike Pence,
But, you know, again, this is not news to the American consumer. American consumer saw and understood, and for some reason didn't realize that this was part of the plan.
I don't know if they believed it.
It was in Project
The people that
2025.
voted for him, I don't know if they fully see and believe.
They watch Fox
they're
News,
fully
that's why.
seeing and believing it now.
Or they think there's a grand plan that's going to be on the other side. The only grand plan that changes this is if he reverses the tariffs. That's really the only thing that works.
The only grand plan is to get rid of the tariffs, bring back people who know what they're doing and put them back in their jobs.
Yeah, stop firing
and then
people.
see what's going on. This higgly-piggly way of doing stuff is just not working. I mean, not for me. I just don't understand. Unless, of course, he's just angry at all the unions that didn't support him and the American public, who some supported him, but many did not. And that's why he lost that last election that he keeps saying he didn't lose, but he did. But I'm wondering if this is, you know, part of this.
Well, he said, I'm your retribution. I will retaliate. That's what he said.
Well,
people didn't believe it. Well, here it is.
And our European allies are shocked today because this impacts them just as much.
Every single country. Tariffs on every single
country except the one with the penguins.
And none on Russia.
They're mad too.
None on Russia.
None on Russia, by the way.
That says a lot.